There we go. All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Claire, what's happening? What's going on, everybody? I figured we'd do a nice little warm little sunsetty scene today. It's going to be fantastic. So, let's grab just any old 2-inch brush out of here. Let's go for that brightest color first. We'll go into our little bit of yellow. Dab it down like that, just a little onto the brush, nothing too crazy. I don't know, maybe we'll come out here and just whip it down. Just a little bit of that yellow, then we'll go into our Indian yellow, maybe our yellow ochre, which is just slightly darker, a little bit more rich gold color to that Indian yellow. Go into our red over here, and you never have to be as fast as old Paint with Josh, right? But I like going at a good speed, keep you guys nice and entertained. While we paint, nothing takes too long, right? It never takes too long to do any of these scenes. But it's always funny because people ask you, how long did it take to do that? Well, you mean how long it took to get here where I'm at right now? Is about 4 years. But I mean, how long we'll paint this one? Probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. Nothing too crazy. All right, so it's always funny. You never have to worry about how long it's going to take you, because you'll be a little bit slower than me. I was a little bit slower than you when I was first starting. No big deal, man. Love our medium crimson up here, just to change the flavor a little bit. Maybe a little of that brown, too. Some of that brown up into our sky. Oh, Josh, why would you put brown into the sky? Are you crazy? Just look at that dark color, though. It makes it wicked cool. Just like a sandy, dusky sort of sky out there. I wasn't going to put dark in the sky either. A little bit of brown, a little bit of black, just to help darken it down. And that's the Bob Ross black. Remember, that midnight black does not travel near as far as the Meaden black, which will run forever and a half all over our palettes and our canvases. So, a little bit more of that brownish color over here, just wherever, right? We're going to take and blend it all out, make it all crazy pretty anyway. A little bit more of our crimson, just so we have some neat colors that we can play with, right? I love all this thing right in here. That's really neat. Now, let's come in here. We'll go wash off this brush because we can't very well continue to add paint to the canvas with a brush that's full of paint. All right, I gotta be able to blend all of that out. So you guys gotta remember, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? We're streaming onto all 3 platforms today. All 3 at once. All the big ones anyway. Besides Instagram. I never stream to Instagram because nobody ever watches. I don't know why. Don't ask. Don't ask why. Let's see. I don't think it ever notifies them. You know what I mean? That's the problem. No one ever gets told that I'm live over on Instagram. Now let's take a fresh brush. Nice clean dry brush. We'll come up here into our lightest area first. And we'll just start crisscrossing, right? We don't want to go out and grab too much of our dark color and bring it into our light color. Otherwise, it's going to go dark really fast. The goal of all these dark colors is to come and take over all of our yellow, and therefore have it be no more. That is the goal of that darkness, right? So depending on our pressure, we can decide when you want to allow it to stop sort of fading inward. It's going to come in. You can't just have a bright yellow circle out there, right? So you want the paint to come in and blend and mix all with our pressure, though. See, the more we push, the more it's starting to disappear. So let's go into that lighter area. Grab that guy, mix him up just a little touch. Now you can't really tell where the pink, where the orange, where everything starts and stops. It's just fantastic. It's just a pretty little sky out here. Now, we don't want to come in too far, especially once we come up here. Get all that darkness on our brush. We really want to intermix all of that dark, the brown. That way it won't come in too far off of our brush into our yellow area like that. Ah, just fantastic. You ever have that little beam in the center of the canvas? Just stick your hand back there. All right, push forward on our canvas, blend it out. No more beam in the back. All right, now we'll come up here into our darker section. Really going to want to grow based off of our pressure, remember. So let's pull it down, and then we'll start to decide how far do we want to drag that darkness in. You could literally put a cloud right in the front there, splitting up those 2 colors. So don't worry about what it looks like. Don't stress if it doesn't look exactly how you want it to look. Don't freak out, it's fine. Let's come over here. I'm going to find my palette. Now, it's normally right over here where we can easily reach it. Now we'll come in a little bit more of that black just from this side. I've added a little touch of the medium black with that as well, just to help it stay super dark. The medium black is just a duller. It just stays extra dark compared to the Bob Ross black that we put on, right? Differences here. This side will stay darker because that medium black does not want to blend with anything. The Bob Ross black instantly wants to start blending with all the white, all the stuff that's on the canvas, wants to start blending away, but that medium black stays very dark. So say you wanted to have like just a little bit of like a stormy cloud underneath on this side. Whatever. It doesn't have to be, or this side. It doesn't have to be. Whatever you want it to be. Right? A little bit of darkness back in there, and then we'll be able to pop a little cloud over the top. Very cool, you guys. All right, come in here. Don't worry about the bottom. We're going to crisscross back and forth across this bottom so much that it's not going to make a difference what's happening out there. All right, take a little bit more of our black. You know what I want to do? I want to get a little crazy, just a crazy little color up in here. Our black, a little bit of our brown color as well. Oh yeah, just come screaming up through here. We'll have this real deep dark shadow back underneath. Very cool. All right, don't want to get it too dark in our sky. Very neat. Kind of hide that little thing back there. It's going to be awesome. Now, let's come back, make up some gorgeous bits of clouds, and we're going to start a little further away than this guy down in the front. All right, we can do that just based off of our color. So let's take a little of the white, and let's come up here, right where I told you, where we had that harsh line, where our colors sort of intersected. And let's go like this. Let's just crisscross this little cloud. Way out there. You separate your yellow, you separate that line, that harshness that was in there. All right, and then when you go back and you blend it all out, you can't really tell where one color started and one color stopped. All right, just blending it down, little counterclockwise circles, and then based off of our pressure, we get to decide how bright we want to keep it. All right, do you want to make it real soft and far away? Then blend it more. Push it back. Right? You want to leave it close and up here in the front, then don't push it so hard. Leave it a little softer, a little heavier on the paint. It'll stay a little brighter. Right? The goal of this white is going to be to mix in with all of these colors out here. And so if you don't want that to happen, you have to add a little bit extra white and then have it blend down. Always leave a little space for them to come together. I always say that. Watch this. I'll show you. We're going to mix it up. Just pushing on it enough, we can turn it into that same part of that cloud that's back there. Just if we push it, just push and push and push and push, a little bit harder, a little rougher, and all of a sudden you get this very soft, little bit of lighter color back there. It could be connected to that cloud way in the back. Way up there in the back. Very neat. Now, let's come in for our giant monster. We hid all this deep dark shadow in there, so we're going to have to add a lot of white paint onto our brush. Let's come up here. Now, I don't want to cover over all the shadow, right? Don't want to intermix over everything. You got to have some of it shine through the back, some of it shine through the bottom. Okay, same thing. Just took a little bit of white, mushed it up there with that kind of blackish, brownish mix. All right, we're going to come in here. I'm just going to start to grab it up and mix it down. Now, it's going to want to mix very quickly. So you got to decide, based off of your pressure and your little swipes, how far you're mixing, what you want it to look like, and all of a sudden, this guy's a little closer, right? So you don't like this bit up here. Watch this. Just delete it. Just Control-Alt-Delete that guy right there. Little bang, bang, boom. Just by blending them together. Now maybe out here, a little further away, another little section of white. So we grab it and just mix it down, mix it up, turn it around. We don't want them to connect right here, right? So you got to leave a little disconnect. Now it looks like a whole thing. A little circular craziness back in there. Very cool little sky that we got going right here just for you guys, right? All for you. No one else is here watching, just you. It's you and me, baby. We're here alone. Let's get a little of our crimson paint, just a touch of it. Watch this. Come in, make this guy a little darker on the bottom. Just a little bit of that crimson, right? Go back in, blend it up, and you'll see a little pink twinge start to come into our shadowy area. And you can always go back and add a little bit of white back over the top of that if it doesn't come out the way you want. Ooh, a pink bottom to that guy, like it might be reflecting off from somewhere. Whatever it is, I like it. I like it. Right? You literally take it and sort of push the paint in a little arc shape and then blend it out real hard, and you get a little bottom to the base of your clouds. I really like that right there. That's really neat. But let's creep a little of the brightness back over that pink. Just in a couple little areas. Just a few little spots. As we come in here. Right, we don't want to cover up at all. Don't get it all covered. Mix it up, back and forth. Bang! Soft little cloud out there. Very cool. Oh, I like him. Oh, I like him. He's very neat. Right? There is no specific shape for a cloud, by the way, so don't worry what your clouds look like. They're going to evolve over time, just like my clouds have evolved over time. You guys know me, whenever we like a sky, whenever we just really love a sky, we got to add a contrail in there for Karen. Now, Karen is London's late mother, who was taken away from us far too soon. And we think about her all the time, and so to keep her in our memories, I like to add her to the paintings every so often. Whenever we do a really nice sky that I just know I'm going to love, gotta get her out there, flying with our little family out in the sky. Very cool. Very cool. People like to give me crap about it until they figure out what it actually stands for. They're like, oh, why would you do that out in the sky? I'm like, well, this is the reason. And they go, oh, okay. I got it. But just shut your mouth, homeboy. Okay, now let's mix up a crazy deep dark color in order to stand out away from all of this brightness, right? So what are those 3 dark colors that we like to mix in order to create a deep, dark, shadowy color? The Deep Darkness, coming out this summer in theaters everywhere. Whatever it is, we gotta come up with a title for it. Like, Bob always called it like the mountain mixture, right? Obviously we can't say that. So what do we call this sucker? Miss Fran Fine knows. Blue, black, and crimson. Right there. Right there. It's all you need. Alright, so let's grab a little bit of that blue, black, and crimson paint. And we're going to come up here and just go crazy into our sky. Just boosh! Wherever you want it to be. You got to have a couple little dips, little humps. All we're really worried about is what our top edge looks like up here. Right? Nothing else matters in the world besides this top line. It must be crisp. Right? It separates our sky from our land. This, that, and the other. It's starting to look a little funky. Why don't we come up here? A little bit bigger. There we go, Joshy. Alright, I love it. Just an almighty, enormous mountain. Just because you gotta have it. Sling it down underneath our clouds like that. Whip her down. Right? Over here, over there. Little scrapey scrapes, because we don't want it to go too far, and you can literally pick it up and extend your mountain wherever you want to put it, just by literally scraping up the paint, dropping it down in a different section, right? Make your mountain as big as you want. Now, we all know that as soon as we start to touch this mountain, with any bit of pressure from our brush, look what happens. The sucker can slide out as far as it wants to go. Right? How far does your mountain slide? Does it go all the way to the edge? Or, with a little smaller amount of pressure, does it just stay right about here? Right? Up to you what you want it to look like, but I never want to pull it all in the same direction, of course, so let's pull it in a couple different ways. We'll get this guy to come down here. Right? All based off how we're pulling it. Now we've got this little S-shaped curve. A little Z-shape, more like it. But, who knows? Josh, this is why I'm not a spellman, okay? You never heard of spellman? Fireman, policeman, longshoreman, spellman, right? I'm a paintman. I'm a paintman myself. I do a little painting over here, not the spelling or the math. Just the creation, right? Now, you don't even really have to touch every single peak. Maybe these guys came down and they hit, kind of matched up, went off in this other direction, right? Came down, smashed, or coming down this way. That way you've got a bit of 3D-ness to your mountain, no matter what. Some going off this side, some going off that side. And we take this guy, we whip him down over here. Doesn't have to go all the way to the edge. Doesn't have to. Right? Come in there like that. Just pulling it, right? Whatever directions that we grab and pull down in versus swiping versus pulling the other direction. Almost looks like you take a chunk right out of that mountain right there. Oh, how pretty. Now, let's come in, since we've got a bit of pink already mixed into our white right here from our crimson color. Now, look, you don't need a whole lot of crimson, guys. I'm telling you from experience, you don't. Just a little touch. Actually, there was a little bit of blue in there, too. It kind of took over our color. So, let's change it. Let's put a little bit more blue in here. These will be our shadowy bits. And then what we're going to do is grab up a good section of just crimson paint. Put that guy over there, and then we'll mix up our highlights using much more of our crimson and our white versus that blue. Right? So you get that pinky color to our highlights, a little bit of blue. This is going to be like a gender reveal painting. Pink or blue? Pink or blue? Are you expecting? Well, maybe we'll decide for you that it's going to be a girl based on this pink, right? Now let's get a little bit of our dark mix, because this brightness, you all right, B? Yeah. Okay. This brightness, I heard a thump. When you hear a thump as a parent, you're like, ooh, I'm waiting for like a cry out, my leg's broken, something. We've had emergencies during the shows before. So, glad you're okay, Pumpkin.
Thank you.
What was I saying now before my parent heart just went boom, 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 boom?
Gender reveal, girl.
Gender, thank you, hon. Thank you for listening. So, maybe we'll just reveal that if you're expecting it's going to be a girl versus a boy, right? So we took a little bit of our darkness, we mixed it down into our blue, so it just kind of dulls the color down. We're going to scrape a little of that up, and let's decide. I mean, it seems like all the light would be coming from this direction. So let's put a little bit of our blue back along the edge of our little S-shaped curve down here. Just very lightly touching and letting it roll. You got to go fast, right? It never works really well when you're going slowly. Just for whatever reason, I don't know why, it just doesn't work as well. You can't control that pressure. When you're sitting up here just trying to go so slow, right? It doesn't work. You can't control it. Right? But if you come up here and you go fast and you whip it down and you let it break automatically like that, right? You're going to get a better look just from going a little quicker, right? I never like it to be just such a straight line, so I always like to have it be a little jaggedy. Just right up there. Maybe we get a little kiss of the light on the top. However much you streak down is however much is going to come down, right? You decide. But based off of that little bit of pink and a little bit of blue, whoo, it's looking good. All right, let's come up here. Let's go. Let's rock with the pinks again. Let's go a little bit off the edge, but just shoot it down. Just pulling it straight down our little cliffs back there. All right, leaving little spaces of dark in between, little gaps, because you can't just have it all exactly the same. Bang, whip it down like that. Very cool. Don't even have to do much else with it. Right? Maybe, I mean just maybe, you could catch like a little bit of light over the edge of our cliff right here. Right? But who knows what it's going to look like till we come back in with our blue and we decide off the back side of this guy just to let it down real light off of the knife. Have it come off the edge. Real light touch. Right? It ended up getting covered up by all that blue shadowy snow, which is all good. You could literally take a piece of light and go and literally pop a new section of light wherever you wanted to have it, right? It doesn't all have to, you don't have to be held hostage by it, basically. Our little snow down there, but I want it to get dark as it gets down to the bottom. All the light up here, all the shadows down there. Come in with a little bit of our blue and maybe just a crazy, jagged, like nuts little piece, little action sauce back here. Whip it down. Whip it good. Let it go long streaks and fast, right? That's going to help. It's going to make it better if you're going a little faster, a little crazier, right? Don't all have to just take your time and be all slow. Who wants that? That's no fun. That's no, look out, this mountain's just growing like a volcano. Just crazy. Man, look at that yellow in there. Ah, it's fantastic. Just fantastic. Maybe we cut a little piece of light off the backside of the ridge, just perhaps. I don't like it being in a straight line though, so let's get rid of that back guy. We'll try it again. Maybe we'll come up a little higher, a little bit lower. A couple little pieces got some light on the edge. That's starting to look good, actually. And we get a little bit of that over here. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. What if we come up like this? Ooh, need a little bit more white. Up here. Pop, 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 pop. String it down. There we go. I like that. Very cool. You can even every so often take a bit of our original dark mix and go back in and just drop off little teeny tiny bits, super dark paint. Someone at the door? I wish I could look out this window. I need to adjust my curtains so I can look out the window and see if anybody's here. So, very small little bits of the dark, and it'll just go back and create like very deep dark shadows that the sun just couldn't get to. just couldn't reach in our deepest, darkest of mountains. Bailey, is someone here?
No,
Did we get a delivery? Because the dogs are going crazy.
probably.
Might have to defend the family with just this. Who's there? Alright, now, let's take our 2-inch brush. A 2-inch brush just like this, right? We're going to very lightly start to soften all of our details way back off in the distance. Going to soften them down just by very lightly dragging up just the tiniest bit, right? Like, just like you're trying to just touch this sleeping baby just to see if it's alive. You're like, okay, I just want to see him like shudder a little, right? Just the smallest touch, because if you touch it too hard, then you're going to wake up the baby and we're going to have to get back to babysitting and we can't paint anymore, right? Just like this, back in here, because we came down this way with our knife, so we go up that way with our brush. Same thing over here, we were coming down this way, right? So we're going to go up the opposite direction, and all it does is just take away some of those details, makes it look further away in the distance, right? Now, look at this, guys. That's a freaking cool mountain. I can just see just a whole nother section over here. You got all this darkness, all this stuff everywhere. Oh. Remember, you can purchase this one, paintwithjosh.etsy.com, and it's number 1020. So, no, 1021. I don't even know how many paintings we've done. I think it's 1021. I'm pretty sure. We'll have to double check the store in case it sells, but I'm pretty sure it's 1021. Excellent. Remember, guys, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? This is looking really neat. I'm liking it. Yeah, 1021. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. 1021. All right, now we're going to come in here. We're going to make this all sorts of soft around the bottom. And how we do that is we come up and we start tapping it, just the corner of the brush, and we start dragging it outward just a little bit, just kind of making a little bit of misty fogginess. All right, as we tap in with all these little colors underneath, it's going to change the color of our fog. It's going to mess the color of our mountain. You're going to have all this cool little stuff happen. You can come in and make a little cloud out of it. All right, take it from the bottom again, swipe it up, sort of fades it, makes it a little bit foggier. We got this little piece of land off in the distance. Like, what is this? Who knows? It's another section of mountain. It's another piece to bounce a big tree off of in the front, right? You don't have to paint everything, remember. Now, as we were coming down and making our little misty fogginess, all going this way, just like a clock with our mountain, right? So we're coming down here. Now, if I come over to this section, am I going to kind of want to go across the grain like we've been doing this way and continue the same way, or should I rotate the brush and start tapping it down this way like a clock to then meet up with its little guy? You guys got to let me know, because I forget. I don't know how to do this stuff. You guys are teaching me. Thank you, Wazowski. Is that Mike Wazowski? Remember, guys, if you're watching over on YouTube, give me a thumbs up over there. It helps. It literally does. Just like a clock, we got to rotate, they say. You got to rotate it, Josh. So we'll come over here, and again, just tapping with the corner of the brush, right? Bringing it out, going back, grabbing a little bit more, bringing it out, just like a typewriter. Drag it down, right? That's all you need. This bit down here, we literally mix it up into a cloud, right? Not trying to grab all of our thick bit of our white snow that we didn't touch. Ooh, no. Don't grab that stuff. You want to stay down here in that soft paint. That way you can run your brush along it and it won't do anything, right? Again, swiping up. Same thing from the other side, just to soften the mist into the snow. And just like that, we've got a very cool little floating mountain out there in the fogginess. The fogginess. Right? It's very cool. So, thank you, Alchemist2077. That dude, he's a spray paint artist, and he is so much better than me. He deserves all the followers. Go follow him. Alchemist, he's going to send me some paintings that he actually spray painted. Looks like some crazy spacey moon stuff. And then I'm going to paint a scene over the top of his scene, and we're going to do a collab, baby. It's going to be awesome. So, those ones are going to be twice as expensive because you're going to have to pay 2 artists to get them, right? Oh, it's going to be fun, though. It's going to be fun. Now, this bit is a little too chunky right here. So what I want to do is come up through it. And then, yes, right down over the top. Just to make it not so pure bright. Love that. Love that, you guys. Don't try to get a bristle out with your knife. It doesn't work as well as a brush. Now, let's come in. You know what we want to do right here? Let's make a whole nother cloud, just because my cloud's not as cloudy as I want it to be. All right, so I'm going to come in here, a little bit of that pink on my brush. It was already there from before, so you can see it sort of transformed my pile of paint. Now, let's come in from the top. I'm going to come up every so often up into the snow, but mostly staying down into the soft bit that we created, right? All that stuff down here. Now, with a clean, dry brush, a very light touch, right? You don't want to press too hard, otherwise you'll just make it look like that original mist, when in this case, I want a little cloud floating back there. Right, which and for your painting, you could do a whole nother mountain section in front of this cloud. You could have it be mist on top of water. You could do whatever. Look at that little difference, right? That added depth just from those bright areas and darker areas like that. So we'll mix it up, mix it down, come down here, grab it up, mush it. Not trying to make it as dark as everywhere, right? Doesn't need to be as dark as possible every which where. Just like that. Now we got a bit of cloud that we can bounce something off of. That's what it's all about. Bouncing your next layer, right? You're going in layers from light to dark, to light to dark, to light to dark. Speaking of dark, what are these three dark colors that we mix up in order to create a deep, dark, shadowy mix? Just the deep darkness. Bailey. Just the deep, dark David Cowan nose. Blue, black, and crimson. 100% correct. Okay, let's come over here. And we're going to grab another fan brush, because I don't want to wash this one. I'm lazy. So let's go grab a new one. And that way, we can just pop right into that darkness with our new brush. All right, now this guy, you know what? Oh, dudes. Doesn't really work well the best with this brush. Why don't we come in, we'll do one over here, and mix it a little bit up with our white color, just so it fades it the smallest little bit. Don't need it to be as pure dark as possible. All right, see, we came back here. Oh, that's nice. See that lightish gray up into our bits of our snowy mist, that foggy bit, not up into our snow, right? Down into the fog, not into the snow. Don't go up into that snowy mixture. That stuff is very thick, and it will cause you to have problems if you try to add a tree on top of that too much, right? And by adding that little bit of that cloud and keeping it in between our snow and our trees of our mountain, or our trees and our snow of our mountain, you keep that depth and distance that we need to have. All right, just a couple little guys. Don't even know to go crazy. Just like that. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's perfect. Now we're going to come in here and start to swipe these guys up. I'm going to show you. You don't want to go all the way up to the top. With a little bit of pressure, you can get that little bit of darkness back. Right? So we had our dark, then our light color, dark again. And then what do? We come in with a bit of light. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do it just like we did with our mountain back here, as we were tapping out the mountain in different directions, right? But for our trees, we don't really need to tap out in different directions. We can literally tap them down, straight down, right? So you go down, down, down. Come up next to it, down, down, down. Come up next to it, down, down, down. Like moving over a ½ inch at a time. Popping over, bing, bang, boom. Just hitting it so many times that the bristles are spreading out and mixing it for us. We don't have to do anything. All right, we'll come back in here, grab a little bit of the bottom of our paint, mix that guy up, not as high as you want to get, and now you've got another little soft cloud at the base of some trees out here. And say your little soft cloud just wasn't soft enough. Maybe we come in, or bright enough anyway, maybe we come in, we attach it to this little cloud back here. Roll a dude over here in front, because it doesn't all have to be the same, right? We'll come in here like this. A little bit lighter pressure, a little softer. Sometimes a little rougher if it doesn't want to move. Right? This is very thick paint we're talking about. It's not the acrylic paint that you just touch and it just does whatever you want, or it just blends away, or just smushes and it's gone. Right? This thick oil paint, sometimes you got to give it a little pressure. You have to judge how hard you're touching it, and based off of visually looking at it, going, okay, the harder I touch it, the more it's mixing into nothing over here. So maybe I should stop pushing it so hard. Right? Now let's come back in. We're going to get that same color over here, but we're going to make it a lot darker. We're not going to go into that white. Make it a lot darker. And then, let's say, just for shoots and goggles, we came up here and we started to pop in a whole new section. All right, but this guy's going to come down into our foggy mist of the next little mountain. Well, just like a little heart monitor. Boop, boop, boop. Doesn't all have to be the same, right? Never. Never all has to be the same. I'll take a little bit more paint, put it down in here, work it over, right? These little bits of darkness versus the bit of lighter forest into the back is going to help them stand out as being in the front. And we're going to take and fill in all the space at the bottom. All the space, right? How far do you want to go over? That's totally up to you. Totally up to you. All right? Literally, you don't have to go to the edge. I always say that. You don't have to go to the side. You don't really have to. But let's take this guy and go a little bit further over this way. All right? Pop them in, pop them up, pop them down. They get softer and softer and softer and softer and softer as they go further and further and further away. All right, now we're coming with our big old 2-inch brush. Same thing. A little bit of pressure at the bottom, then we're pulling it away at the top. And you can see how this darker color with that bit of foggy mix in between stands out as a much closer tree, a much closer bit of forest versus that further away guy back there, right? Get out of there, piece of skin. See how that happens? That little bit of foggy mist in between the clouds, in between the forest. It's in between everywhere. Now, this brush is sort of dirty. I guess it's not that bad, but by the time we get over here to this thick bit, all this pink's going to be gone. So I think I'm going to change to a different brush by the time that we get over here, because I don't want to lose all of this pink. Maybe I can save it. Can we save it? Can we save it, Joshy? Now look at that. Why don't you have to go all the way to the side? Well, your other brush can kind of do it for you. Make a little foggy mist up in there. Little thing that's coming down out of the forest. All right, this guy. Put some more snow on top of him. He'll be cool. So, once we go back here, you can literally mix up the bottom. And I'm going to start to slide these guys out as they come down. Just like this. Just by pulling a little bit sideways, we'll have a little bit of land come in here, right? Very cool. Dude, this almost looks like a little river right here with that pink. Woo! That'll be cool. Now we've got to go back and decide where do we want all of our foreground bits to get? Because we're only about 2 inches from the bottom of the canvas now. You know what I mean? We got to start deciding. We could have decided a long time ago where our foregroundy bits were going to be, but maybe over here. Let's pop a little guy. See how I stayed out of that snow still? I didn't go all the way up into that thick white. Just because there was a little space there, I could snag this tree and get him in there. Right now, the more that we go and we push down, the more that you go and you slap against the canvas, right? Right from the center, touching the corner, slapping out. Touching the corner, slapping out, slapping out, slapping out. The more that you do it, the more little crazy branches that you're going to make. Same thing on this side, slapping the corner, going out to the left, back and forth, right? Now, all depends what you want your tree to look like. You want to be a little bit bigger on the top, push a little bit harder up there, right? Not every tree has to look exactly the same. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Your branches don't have to match on either side. It's all good, guys. Honestly, now our shadowy spot is over to this side, which plays good for this painting because I want all my light in that pinky snow right here, which is going to be, and then all the shadow pulling far away from the tree, right? Whipping it back, doing whatever you want to do. Now, let's take another guy over here. We'll whip it down. We'll get our brush just all full of paint. And maybe back here, just because I don't like that very dark, thick little guy back there. I mean, we could turn him into his own little saggy tree back here. Right? We could do that. And then you have to go back and tap at him. And same thing to kind of help the paint get softer. And then when you're going up, you barely ever want to touch that dude back there. Just a little old guy, right? But again, if you don't like it or if you didn't want to do that off in the background, come up here. Bring him down a little further, all right? And now all of his crazy branches will play into these foreground crazy branches, and smacking, going down, getting a little bit wider each time, right? And we go off to the other side, trying to show you guys and also make a painting that's worth selling, right? Speaking of which, you can go to paintwithjosh.etsy.com if you want to pick up any of the original artwork that we have over there. Now, let's see. Let's go into my white, just a little touch of white, over into the blue a little bit. And I'm going to come off the back side of this guy with that bluish color. All right, that blue is going to be our little snowy, shadowy bits. And you got to have it in there. You got to have it. It's not an option. All right, take this guy. We can pull him way off the back, too. And our little shadowy snow back here. Lots of fun until you figure out where you're going to come in and put all your other bits of snow, right? We could add another tree in the center. You could do all sorts of stuff. But what we need to do first is mix up a little bit of that deep, dark color. So, you have all the stuff that we had before. Now, what are those 3 deep, dark colors? I'm going to look only on YouTube right now, right? Just the people on YouTube. What are those 3 dark colors that we mix up in order to create a deep darkness? The deep darkness. Anybody know over there on YouTube, or do I got to resort to TikTok? Huh? Does anybody know? Watching from Nebraska over there, Northeast Ohio. The BBC, they're saying over on TikTok. The BBC. Right? Everybody knows the BBC. So that's blue, black, and crimson, not the British Broadcast Channel, or whatever it stands for. Blue, black, and crimson, and those make up our deep, dark paints. That deep, dark color that we need in order for these trees to stand out in front of everything else. Right? So, let's say, put a much bigger guy over here in the front. Maybe this guy had a little friend, right? A little leaner. Now, you can see I didn't put the trunk so far away that the branches are going to reach out and touch. That's not cool. Don't do that, right? Come up here, start slapping into the tree. And the more we go down, the more you slap into it, right? It's hard to show you every which way for all the cameras, right? Now the trees are going to kind of intermix with each other. So on this guy, you get to come over here, slap out, just creating a little funky shape. All you need is a bunch of texture on the branch, right? Keeps it nice and dark. Got your texture out there. Pull our trees one direction, the other direction. They'll end up lining up looking really cool. All depends on what you want to do with it. Right? How far do you want to pull your land over? Tell me that pink looks like water, guys. Man, it's too late for it now, but really looks like water. Thank you guys for all the follows. I very much appreciate you. And I'm going to show you how to finish this scene up in just a couple flicks of a brush. Okay, let's come in again. I know we're going to add some more big trees, so I haven't set this big monster down yet. Let's come over here. We're going to grab some of this white paint. And we're going to come off the front. Just like that, right? Oh, boy, oh boy. Over off this side. Boom, boom, boom. Now we have a little ridge, right? The more paint that we add on to here, the brighter it becomes. The more you spread it, the more it's going to interact with the pink color that's underneath. More sky, a little reflection, guys. Just a little reflection. It's pretty neat, right? Don't really have to paint a lot. You don't have to do too much. You start getting in trouble when you start doing too much, right? That's never good. Don't do too much. Take a little hill from back there. Grabbing from our tree, sliding it out. That way you get it nice and bright. And swipe it back up into the tree, and it kind of gives it this little windswept feel. Okay, same thing over here. We're going to grab our white paint, come off the front side of this guy. Maybe he lines up, got a little bit of sunlight catching on his little ridge over here, right? All depends how we slide it down. It's going to intermix with those blues and stuff, and we'll go back and brighten it up. But it all depends, right? Come back, grab a little bit of that blue, toss it off the back side of those trees, off the back side of our little ridge, and all of a sudden you got a neat little thing going on in here. Just a cool little thing. A little bit more of our white, a little bit less pressure on the brush. We'll deposit it a little thicker. Now this will make it dry a lot longer. It's going to take to dry if you leave it real thick on there like that, but it is one way to keep it nice and bright by leaving it very thick. Right, blow it up in there. Very cool. White, blue, white, blue. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, now let's come in, go back into that giant pile of paint that we had on our big old monster fan brush, right? Spreading it out, getting it all thick in there. And let's just say we had another guy just right here. Just make a decision and let it rip. Big old thing, taller than our mountain, just barely, but it is taller. And because it sits down lower than our mountain, which we can imagine sits down here, right? Because it sits lower than that, it's going to look like it's closer. You can make it a little taller if you want. Now we're going to come in again, just very lightly, just like you're holding some chopsticks. Start slapping and then bouncing back and forth. Okay, you bounce back and forth, and those little bounces are going to create little branches. Right? Come out like this. Hop it, hop it. This is going to be a very sloppily done one, and then we're going to go back and make it better when I can see it. Right? But this is the premise of creating the tree. Out on one side, load it back up, come in on the other side, again, right from the trunk, right from the center. Right? Popping out a couple bits as we go. Gotta get a little thick of that paint. Thick paint, you gotta have those chunky fingers, I like to call it. Plus it helps keep our tree very dark. Right? You gotta have those little bits of texture hanging off our tree. Pop out every so often, give it a couple little scraggly branches. Again, you want it to be dark, so come back in, add that thick paint. And you know what I mean by fingers? Right? The little textured bits. When you go to push your brush, look at there. You go to push your brush against the canvas and then you pull it away. You get those little fingery bits with the oil paint anyway, because the oil paint doesn't want to come apart from itself. All right, now let's come down a little bit further, in fact, because you don't want to leave them just hanging way up here. And bring it down out here into the foreground. All right, that whole extra bit. Now look at, just from intermixing with that white that's underneath, it's instantly going to want to go a lighter color, which you can't have. So you take some of our lamp black, and you add that lamp black to that bit of our mix, and it'll keep it nice and dark, right? Which retains all of our deep, dark shadows down there. The deep darkness. Very cool. Right up here in the front. Now, if you wanted to, you could grab the little base, pull out where you think he's got some shadows, maybe. And again, you don't have to do it on every side. It doesn't all have to be the same. Just like that. We'll see a little bit of land right at the bottom of this guy. Right? Maybe. Ooh, this guy's, there's no room. There's no room for him over here. But we could do one like this. We can get another dude. Let me get a couple more of these guys. We'll stick them back here. Just like that. A couple little leaning, saggy little trees. Right? Again, once we're down here, we're starting to go back and forth. Just back and forth, popping out from side to side. Right? Then you go back and you fill it all in the center. Same thing we do with our vertical trees, or our downward saggy trees, you know what I mean? Those old nasty downward saggy ones that are like, you do the same thing, just upside down. A little of our dark, pull it out that way, streak it through, keeping it into the shadows. Little puff of trees back there, looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. We got this guy. Now, we can do another tree like him, along with, just not gonna make him as big. All the way down. Go back, grab some paint. You gotta be running out of paint by now, because I'm almost running out of paint. You can see as we go, we're gonna start going back and forth. I'm gonna make it real rudimentary for you. Back and forth in a Z-shaped pattern, okay? Then we're gonna go back in and fill in the center. And every so often, angle our brush upward to create those upward branches, right? So go out. Pushing it, covering up all the light behind it. You don't want to see any of that light, especially in the center. You can leave it along the edges, of course, right? So you can see around your tree. But you don't want to have any of that light coming through the center of our tree. It's too thick, it's too full of that wintry snow to see any of this light down here. Bam, 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 bam. Remember, you got to have enough of that thick paint on your brush to get the little fingery bits. Get them to stick. Very neat. Now, if we have any more paint on this lonely old brush, maybe we could get one of my big old monster little sticky trees to come down in here. Just a crazy old, just monster sticky tree. Bravery test, they call it. Not for us, right? Not for us. What if we got a little smaller guy back here, too? Just because. Boop. Just right through there. It's like a little goal. Little goal post. You gotta make it back through there. That is cool, guys. That is cool. Now, it depends on where we pull this guy out, right? If you bring it way back, then it'll look a little further away than our tree over here. All depends on us. What are we gonna do when we get the chance to do it? Right, like this guy, if we string him forward over here, pull a little bit off over there, and then leave enough white paint on there to have it look bright off the one side. Just do it one time, right? So we don't have to go back and make it darker and darker with each continual swipe. Just like that, guys. A little bit of light back here, just a little touch, a little squeeze, just a little bit. And then again, like I said, sweep it up into the trees. It just helps make it look more natural, to me anyway, if it's swept up like that. A little bit of our blue off the backside. Gotta have the two color. You don't just want to leave it dark. That blue plays with our brains in a nice way. It says, hey, this is really cool. This little, that's gonna, oh man, that's what sells your paintings, guys. That's what's gonna sell them, those differences in color, right? The little touches, the little details, the little things that we do on our 18 by 24 canvas. Now, let's grab the most enormous liner brush you've ever seen, right? Let's see. Remember, this painting is available. Like we all said, mods can tell you where to find it, but it's available in my store. You guys know where my store is. You know I don't have to tell you. It's that little store that people make their homemade stuff in. You've seen the commercials on TV. Starts with an E, ends with a Y. Head over there, and you can find all of my stuff. Now, this Paint with Bram liner brush has its own Facebook page. It's got its own TikTok page because I talk about it so often. And when I first started saying or using this brush, I was like, Bram has lost his mind, right? It's a Paint with Bram brush. Bram's one of my personal friends in the painting world, and in my head, I'm like, he has lost his gourd. What is going on? This is the most insane brush. Like, there's no way he approved this. Like, there's no way. I don't believe it. Something happened in the factory floor. Something went awry, right? But ever since I started using it, I mean, proof's in the pudding. It makes the most craziest, sharpest little branches that you've ever seen, and they'll just run a mile for you off of this brush. It is so nice. Just so terribly nice. And like I said, ever since I started using it, I have not stopped. Because why go anywhere else when I could paint from Jupiter and still touch my canvas with the size of this knife? How far is Jupiter away? Like probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing, like 500 million miles away. Just a guess. Maybe, I don't know, maybe shorter distance. That's about how long this brush is. Maybe about 500 million miles and some change. Maybe, just a little bit. Right, just a little touch. Ooh, I like those trees out there, guys. So, like I said, Bram knows I talk about it all the time. If you want to go run off and try to get me in trouble, I guess you could. But he knows that, and he appreciates me promoting his brush, let me tell you that. But yeah, absolutely one of the best brushes that I've ever used in my life. And Paint with Bram, man. Get him. He's got a set. Go get him. Go get him. Wish I had a set. I could talk crap about my own liner brush. I'm like, Josh's liner brush. That's what it's going to be. Paint with Josh's liner brush. I'm going to have my own page. Watch. Okay, now let's wash off some brushes, guys. We got about 5 or 6 brushes to wash. So while we do that, you tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? Make connections with people in the comments. Make a friend. You probably got somebody watching this right down the road from where you are. And you guys will be lifelong friends. Brought to you by Paint with Josh. Ha 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 ha. You didn't think you were going to be friends. But ever since you both found out, oh my God, you're in Ohio too? Me too. Oh my God, we live on the same street. I can't believe we both liked painting so much. Let's fall in love. See, you can thank me later. So, tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? I'm going to get these brushes all cleaned up, ready to go for some highlights. And then we'll be just about done, guys. Nothing too crazy for this one. Get all the paint out of these brushes. It's loaded full of paint. Just loaded. There we go. All right. That guy all cleaned up. Only got, what, 3 more? Just little baby guys, though. They don't take very long. They don't take long. Alright. So, my dudes. Again, this one's available for purchase. You guys know where you can go get it. Check out the old Etsy store. Just like that. Okay, now, one final brush. Just one final brush to clean, is all he said 20 minutes ago. Oh, man. Alright. Get a friggin' arm workout cleaning these brushes off, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Man, this one looks pretty, you guys. Holy cow. London wants in. What's up? Hello, you're live on the air.
Hi. Is this Paint with Josh?
Yeah, yes. Well, how are you making a request?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There he is. I'm so, I've waited so long to speak to you, 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yeah, I've been here since 7:01.
What's going on?
No, I'm just so happy to be on the air. The sad thing is everybody who knows who I am is in the comments laughing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys that this painting isn't available. Are you doing an American accent? No, but I can if you want one, Dan. This video, along with the painting itself, will be available afterwards. Right, Josh? You can get to this video on something else, another platform, maybe?
Yeah, on 2 other ones.
Oh, yeah? Tell the people here on TikTok.
Tell them on TikTok? You can find this video if you want after, once we finish concluding the live stream. It'll be on my YouTube page, it'll be on my Facebook page. And, yeah, you can rewatch it a million times. I hope you do. Are
Yeah,
people...
that'd be super cool. How often can the people on TikTok rewatch the video that they watch you live doing here on TikTok?
As just about a million times would be fantastic.
That would be great, huh? But they can only watch the Mondays and the Fridays ones over on Facebook, right?
Yes, yeah. And otherwise, the other videos are put behind the wall over on the membership wall over on YouTube. So yes, on Mondays and Fridays are the only days that we do the live shows on YouTube and Facebook.
If someone was gonna want to paint with you and they lived, I don't know, somewhere near Tennessee, do they have an option to do that? Would they be able to paint with you somewhere? Yeah,
I actually have classes coming up in March 9th through the 17th in Knoxville, Tennessee. Right there at Happy Trees Studio. It's going to be a whole lot of fun with Tanisha again. And the tickets are already selling even months in advance. So if you want to be part of it, you can go to happytreesstudio.com and purchase your Paint with Josh painting class tickets right there.
If I wanted to paint just like you, where could I find a list of all your supplies?
So you could go to paintwithjosh.com. And that website will have a thing that says Paint Like Josh right on the home page. And if you click on that, it's a whole supplies list and thing that will show you exactly what you need, where you can get it, and the videos you can start watching to help you get started.
How many videos do you have that I could watch?
Over 1,000.
1,000 videos.
I literally have over 1,000 videos on my YouTube page that... instructional videos, full length, step by step. What'd you say?
How many are free though?
About 1,000. Yeah, well, I've got about 1,300 videos, but about 1,000 of them are free, and about 300 of them you've got to pay the subscription for.
Okay, so I get 3 different videos that no one else can see, right? If I pay the subscription.
Oh, definitely. You'll get all the TikTok streams that are in between the Monday and Friday shows. They all go up there, and then. You can watch those if you're a member of the channel. You get to watch those at your leisure.
That would be awesome. Trudy Clark, who is in the comments, who is a phenomenal artist from Australia, wants you to do lessons in Australia.
Oh, I would love to go out to Australia, please.
You know the greatest part about going to Australia to do classes? You could sleep the entire way there on the plane.
I don't know that I'd be able to sleep that long. Isn't it like a
like a 17-hour flight or something?
I think it's closer to 23
Oh
hours.
my lord. That's like a full day.
Hey, if someone wanted to start oil painting, like, how much would it be to, like, start? Like, to buy some oil paints and some paintbrushes and some canvases?
Well, you could get started for, you don't have to buy the whole big set of brushes, right? You can get started for $60 worth of paint, maybe 50, $60 worth of brushes, and you don't even need a palette. You can use a paper plate, really. You can get like a $40 easel that'll sit on your table at home and open up and hold the canvases and stuff.
Do you have any like specials with like any companies where I could like use a discount code or?
You can actually, if you go to my website, I would think. If you go to Meaden.com or MeadenArts.com, you'll be able to use promo code Josh10 and get 10% off the entire site. Doesn't matter what you get, whether it's acrylic paints or oil paints or watercolors or whatever. They're running a deal with the Josh promo code. It's Josh10. I get you 10% off site-wide. And then we're going to be doing very soon, they should be sending me, within the next couple days, I would imagine, the new oil painting kits for the Christmas season this year. And we're going to be demoing those kits and telling you guys where you can find them and where you can get them. And it's going to be awesome. It's like a 44-piece kit for like $35, something like that. It's an awesome price point, perfect for Christmas. You even get a little mini easel with it. You get everything you need to do to paint with those Meaden paints for probably under $50, $60. So, there you go right there.
Okay, but are the Meaden paints like any good? Do you use them?
This is Meaden Lamp Black right here, and this is the Meaden Crimson paint right here. Now, I have used the Meaden Red, which this is not. It's the Bob Ross brand today. But in this painting, we both used Meaden Crimson and the Black. I like those two colors the absolute most, and they really give you cool colors out in your sky and keep our darks really dark where they need to be. So I have painted a full painting with just the Meaden paints, and it came out well. They're a little bit more wet than these thick paints are, but if you don't know the difference between them, right, if it's your first time, get those Meaden paints. They're freaking perfect. They're going to be awesome. Let's see. I like this question and answer thing, London.
Well, I used to do this a lot, but I didn't want you to be mad at me because I was coming in here pushing you.
There we go.
I figured in preparation of your wondrous speech tomorrow.
Oh, goodness.
You could remember some of these answers to include in our speech tomorrow.
That's a good point, actually. I think, like, all day tomorrow, I'm just going to be writing, like, bullet points about what I should say and what I need to mention and this, that, and just hope it takes, 30 minutes. I have to do a 20 to 30 minute speech for the Clark County Artists Guild. And I'm kind of stressing about it a little bit. Just a little.
You could also spend 3 minutes singing the "Hey, man, Josh."
I could. I'll just bring like a tape deck, and we'll get some crazy action going. That would be funny. That would be very funny.
That is super funny. I think the people on YouTube would like it if you zoomed in a little.
I did once already, but I will do it again. Let's come in here. We'll go over there for those bigger trees, right?
I always forget to zoom it out, so somebody remind me to zoom it out. Now, as we come in here, all we're going to do, I'm going to try to keep my hand way out of the way, and we just start making little taps, right? Not against the full brush, just little bits. And those little bits are going to act as our snowy bits, and then we got to keep all those little dark separators in there as well. You have to, London. Why do you got to keep the dark separators?
Hey, I'm not a painter. Don't ask me questions. I have no idea. I do not watch enough of you to know the answer to that question. I'm sure there are people in the comments. If you know the answer to why we keep dark separators in the painting, please drop your message in the comments right now. Cue comments now.
Cue comments, go. Why do we need to keep the dark? Why can't we just cover it all in white or all in blue? Like, why do we need...
Can you... Dan goes, the question and answer only works one way, Josh.
Oh, sorry.
Can you just walk behind the TikTok camera, because it feels like when I came in the box, it shifted the visual over. I just want to make sure you can see it on your...
Yeah, no, I'm good. I can see the whole thing.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we're good there.
And then I just got to do this one big tree on the left, and then we'll zoom the YouTube camera back out. So don't let me forget to do that.
Okay.
Come over here. Now again, it's just the smallest little pressure at the right angle with the brush poking out towards us. And you start tapping. And you just want to make a little contact. Now with the liquid white on the brush, it's going to deposit onto the tree very quickly. Some of the times in a big old glob. So, depending on what you want your tree to look like, right? You got to judge that bounciness. You don't want to cover up all those dark spaces because I'm about to give you the answer. Otherwise, you'll have no depth in your tree, right? There won't be any deep, dark places for all the little critters to live. That's why you got to leave them in there. It adds that depth.
There was easily, like 17 people that knew that answer.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, I'm gonna come in here and make a little bit more of my white up. Just a little touch. Come off of these guys, just a little bit. Not trying to cover up the whole thing, right? If we cover up the whole tree in the white and there's no dark left, even on either side, right? It's almost like we're putting it in the middle. Middle right. You gotta leave a little tiny line of the original tree around the whole exterior. Right? Where's all my white paint go? Let's come up here.
So for everyone who's watching Josh highlight this tree, please go ahead and tap the screen. On YouTube, there is a little icon right next to the typing of the word box where you can tap that up. It'll give you a whole range of emojis. Just keep hitting one emoji if you want. Tap all of them. It really doesn't matter. I'm not there if anyone remembers from the YouTube days or the Facebook days of leaving a grumpy face. That will not make me grumpy because I'm not watching it right now. But you can do the same thing on Facebook as well. It does make a huge difference. So please go ahead and tap that screen. Here on TikTok as well, you can tap that screen, obviously, until all of your fingers fall off. That would be great.
Definitely. We're going to have some fingerless fans by the time we get done. That would be awesome. There we go. Boom, 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 guys. It always just, whenever it starts coming out so good, I just end up shutting up. I'm like, oh, don't say anything. I'm just trying to not ruin this sucker. And so then my teaching becomes less teaching and more of like, you guys are just watching me paint this gorgeous tree right here. But always know that I will come back and say something afterwards, right? You don't have to put every single bit of our branch, doesn't have to be covered in the snowy paint.
Josh, there's a couple of questions that say things like, how am I supposed to paint with Josh? If I tap too much, my fingers fall off.
Well,
in my opinion, you could just tap with one hand, and then just lose 5 instead of 10. I mean, that's a big sacrifice, to be honest.
I mean, it kind of sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it kind of does, to be honest.
Yeah.
They were saying that they would definitely have more followers than you if they had no fingers and could paint. Just saying.
True. I mean, you know, if I had to do this with my mouth and it came out looking like this, that would be fantastic.
It would be ridiculous.
Okay, let's back up the YouTube camera because now we're just about done. All those little bits.
Thinks that they can't see the left-hand side of the canvas. You can see the left-hand side of the
Yeah,
canvas.
there's nothing.
It's just the steam of the canvas. There's nothing further than that.
Right, I just moved it over a little bit so you can see. It's literally right there is the end. Right at the end of the tree. So, can you see the edge?
Yeah, to me, I can see both edges, but
Okay.
it appears there's a lot of people that think the painting is. Jeremy in the comments says, can a person mix acrylic paints like this and paint the same way with acrylic paint?
So I know that there are lots of people that use the acrylic paints and paint my scenes. Just don't ask me how they do it, you know what I mean? Because I can't use acrylic. I don't know, it doesn't work for me the same. Oils are my thing, and I stick with those. But I know there are plenty of people that have painted a Paint with Josh painting in acrylic. I just don't know how they do it.
In the meantime, I'm going to drop down. I have a fun, cool date with somebody from your comments. I'm going to drop down, go speak to them. Everybody, please don't look like that. You know, it's just to do other creative things with other people.
Oh.
So, please go ahead, tap that screen, hit that follow button if you're not already following. check out paintwithjosh.com. You've got a supply list there. You've got goodies. You've got leggings. You've got hoodies. You've got hats. You've got puzzles. You've got all the goodies over there.
All sorts of stuff.
And please just visit it. It's free, and it makes a world of difference when you you look in and it says, you know, oh, you had 10 visitors today on your website. That makes the world of difference. It makes everything work. Keep doing. If you are looking for tickets to Paint with Josh, you can do that over at happytreestudio.com for the Tennessee shows next year. Please, please, please remember to hit up Facebook or the link on the top of the website to vote for Josh with the Cheer Choice Awards. You do have to validate your vote, so please keep that in mind. They're doing that to obviously eliminate people who just type in random email addresses. Hopefully we can get Josh to win that award, Visionary Creator Award, because heaven knows he'll be so humbled if he gets it. Have a wonderful day, guys. I will see you tomorrow, my live, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Less action. Maybe Josh will show up and ask me questions about my candles. That would be awesome.
That's a good idea.
Night, guys. Goodbye.
That's a good idea. Okay, so this painting is available. I don't think it is gone yet.
Some of the times they sell during the show, some of the times they don't, which is fine. But yeah, absolutely love the sky, love the foreground, love the mountain, the double tree range with the clouds in between. I really love this right here. Like, I want to go, you know what I mean? Like, we could take the easy route and go walk around the little pathway or whatever. Go trudging through and see what's back through those little branches, back into that pink mist. Don't ask why. I just want to get back there. So, yeah, this one turned out awesome. Remember, if you do end up purchasing the painting, you get to name it,
and you get a spin on the big old spinny winny wheel, where you get a free gift. So you purchase the painting, and then you either win a hat or a shirt or a hoodie, a beanie, a poster, a canvas print, a candle from Crappy Candles. What did I miss? What did I miss? A pillow. I think that's it. Oh, our leggings or sweatpants, right? So if you purchase it, you end up getting a free gift for yourself, or you can give it away to somebody in the comments. It is the holiday season. If you want to be nice and give it away to somebody, there's only been 3 or 4 people since we got the wheel that have given away their free gift to somebody else. So if you're feeling Santa Clausy or charitable and you want to donate something, maybe make somebody's day, maybe somebody who can't afford to get something themselves, and then all of a sudden you gift them with a free Paint with Josh hat or something. That's so cool. It's just so cool. Now, me, if I bought the painting, I'm getting the freebie. I'm selfish. I admit it. I know myself, okay? Unless there was like a really pretty girl. Like, I was like, okay, I'll give it to you. Hi. And then run away. But yeah, so very cool things happen around the Paint with Josh studio. We've got this plus like 20 other original landscape paintings, proper canvases. These ones can come with frames, without frames, all sorts of sizes, and just everything that you need. Now, they also come professionally packed in custom packaging and sent directly to your door for free. Free shipping, by the way. If I didn't say that. Free shipping. I'm gonna come up here and finish the ads. You guys start coming up with a name for this painting, because we're gonna have to name it, whether it sells or not. We gotta name the sucker. So, what name do you put forth? If you have the best one, then you shall be chosen as the namer of the Paint with Josh painting for tonight. A very prestigious award. Just so prestigious. Okay. There we go, dudes. Now, start hitting me with those titles. We'll get this sucker named, and then we'll sign it, do all the fun stuff, put the bird family in, of course. Try to get these hairs out. I like leaving a couple bristles in the painting because it proves it's a real painting versus a print, right? Like, oh, it's got brush hairs still in it. That makes it a real painting to me. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that makes her real right there. Okay, let's get rid of this brush. Turn around the cameras. Get ready for a jump scare over here on TikTok as I scare you with my crazy face. Ah! Okay, let's go like this. There we go. Beauty. Just a beauty. Just a beauty. Try to get it to focus. Hey, there we are. So, absolutely fab. This turned out to be. We've got the Mountain View, Winter Solace, Cold Shadows. I like that. Tequila Sunrise. Amber Peaks. Very good title as well. All right. Sunset on Alpine Ridge. I like that. I like that. Alaskan Summer. The Warmth Beyond. I dig that one too. That's a cool title. That's a cool title. Sunset Serenade on the Mountain, says Claire. Cotton Candy Mountain, says Country Native. Sunset Serenity. Sherbert Mountain, says Rick Ton. That's kind of cool. Sherbert Mountain? I dig it. Sherbet. I always say Sherbert because I'm an idiot and it's dyslexia and my brain switches the letters around. So, yes, that's my daughter laughing in the background. I don't know what she's laughing at. We can all hear you, Pumpkin. Maybe she'll. Frost Mountain. Mount Dreamsicle. That's cool. Frozen Fire Skies. Andrea Joe is in the lead. Frozen Fire Skies. I like that. I like that. Gotta add some birds to it for sure. For sure. Tangerine Skies. Mystery Behind the Mountain. I like it. I like it. Bailey.
Yeah.
I can hear you in here, hon. Please.
Okay.
Thank you. It's not just me that can hear you. It's the whole audience. All right. Let's come in here. And we're going to make our little bird family. Little bird family with our lamp black and our odorless mineral spirits and the 19 million mile long paint with bram liner brush. And we come out here and just whip our little birds down. Just like that. Woo! That's a nice one. Now, we've got enough darkness on our brush. Maybe we can attach that guy over here. Maybe not. We're going to have to switch to the white. And that's okay. That's all right. We can switch to the white and do it just as well. Right over the top of all that black. Zip. Now, it does take a little bit of getting used to use this paint with bram liner brush. But once you can master it, boy oh boy, it's a wicked brush, let me tell you. Let me tell you. And I thought initially that paint with bram was like losing it. We were going to have to put him in a home when he approved this brush. But it absolutely works. Just fantastically. Proof in the pudding, baby, as they say. The proof is in the pudding. Now, you guys get over to Etsy and start putting in your credit card number. It's hysterical. Okay, let's come over here. Get that out of there. We got it named. Actually, we got to choose a name still. Frozen Fire Skies. That's it. Nobody beat Andrea Joe. I like it. The Frozen, the Fire, and the Skies. Oh, shoot. Frozen Fireflies. What a great title for this one. I mean, we didn't paint any fireflies in it, but I like it. Frozen Firefly. Maybe they're all frozen, and that's why they're not around. The Frozen Fireflies. Dig it. There, this one's number 1000 and what? 21? Right? This one's 1021. I'm sure. And my watch is dead. Perfect. Somebody back me up. Okay, 1021. Thank you. 1021. Calls it Frozen Fireflies. I got it right there. Frozen Fireflies. I dig it, guys. Great title. 11, what? Is it 21st? I think it's the 21st. Is it? Or is it 20th? It's the 20th. My clock right there. 20th of 2023. And we're going to go to paintwithjosh.com. Check out what London has done over there. If you have your own small business or whatever and you want her to redo your website, she can absolutely do it. Contact her at the Crappy Candles or go to her website, thecrappycandles.com. You can get in touch with her that way. Now, this is one of those Liquitex recycled canvases. So it's made out of 10 plastic bottles along with the cotton canvas. Right? Came out of this little guy. And that's why I like it so much, because we're sort of saving the planet, right? Using these plastic bottles to create a canvas which is much heavier duty than your normal canvas is. And it even weighs more. So, yeah, if you're all about saving the planet, we used a recyclable canvas on this guy right here. So, they're awesome. I love them to death. Those recycled canvases, they're much more sturdily made, it seems to me. So, really cool. But yeah, all right, we're going to say goodbye to the YouTube crew and the Facebook crew. I love both you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out and staying with us throughout the show. Thank you for the likes and the taps and the love and all the suggestions and the... it's just, I just love you. I love you all. So, until I see you guys again next Friday. Ooh, is it? Is it next Friday? We're going to do another show? Because Thursday's Thanksgiving. Yeah, Friday, right? We'll do it'll be Black Friday. Oh, we're going to be doing a Friday night freestyle on Black Friday. Maybe I might be shopping. I don't know. Don't quote me. But, yeah, until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. Yeah,
Get him out of here, man.